Anyone tried removing patching? No one tried? Silence means okay, fine, no issues. Right, okay, so let's continue the discussion, guys. So yesterday we discussed about the security. We just started security, right? We discussed about authorization, authentication, and we discussed how Windows authentication will work. We just started discussing how Windows authentication will work, okay? And what is the main criteria, guys? If you want to log into, if you want to connect to any SQL server, what is the prerequisite? If you want to connect to any SQL server, if anyone wants to connect to SQL server, what is the prerequisite? Sorry?
Authentication.
Username and password.
Username and password. Right, okay. So he should be the member of logins list, guys, okay. If anyone wants to connect to the SQL server, he should be the member of logins list, okay. So only the people that are there in the logins list can connect to the SQL server, okay. Only the people that are there in the logins list. Yesterday we discussed, right, the logins list and all, okay. So the people of logins, whoever there in that particular logins list, only they are able to connect to the SQL server, guys, not everyone, right? So what happened to the server? Why it was disconnected again? 1 2 3, yes, okay. Just a minute, guys. I want to see why it is exiting. Just a minute, guys. Right, okay. So let me minimize this server. So in the last class we discussed how a login mechanism will work, right? So now you can see this is my Windows machine, this is the SQL server, right? So if anyone wants to connect to this SQL server, okay, there are in two ways people can connect, guys, okay. In two ways people can connect. One way is they can directly log in into the server first way, okay, and they can open SSMS and they can give the server name, and if this person is already part of the logins list, then he can connect to the SQL server. This is one way, means entering into the machine, opening SSMS, from there you are able to connect to the SQL server. But when, what is the minimum criteria? He should be part of the logins list. He should be part of the logins list. Yesterday we discussed, even though you are a company CEO, still SQL server won't allow you if you are not part of this list. You should be part of this list. Okay, so you don't know whether you are CEO or security guard, right? Whether there is a pass or not, whether you have a pass or not. If you have a pass, it will allow you. If you don't have a pass, it don't allow you. Very simple concept. Okay, pass means what? An entry in the logins list. An entry in the logins list. If there is an entry for you, it will allow you to connect. If there is no entry for you, you cannot connect to the SQL server. This is one method, logging into the machine directly, and from there you can connect. There is second method also. What is the second method? Okay, what is the second method, guys? So second method is your SQL authentication. This is Windows authentication. Windows authentication means what? Windows authentication means logging into the Windows server first. From there you are able to connect to the SQL server. That is Windows authentication. Then what is another authentication mode? What is the second method, guys? SQL authentication. There are two ways to connect to the SQL server. There are two ways to connect to the SQL server. First one is Windows authentication mode. Windows authentication mode. Second one is SQL server authentication. Okay, SQL server authentication. So which is also called mixed mode. In two ways people can connect to the SQL server. Okay, one is Windows authentication. Windows authentication means directly log into the Windows machine. From there you are able to open SSMS. From there you can connect to the SQL server, provided you should be member of the logins list. This is first method. Second method is SQL server authentication. What is SQL server authentication? Developers or users, they will directly only SSMS is a tool, right? It's a client. You can install this client from anywhere, guys. Okay, so only SSMS will be installed in the developer's machine. Imagine you are a developer. For everyone I cannot give access to the Windows machine, guys. For everyone I cannot give access to Windows machine. Only maintenance people like Windows team, storage team, database team, only they are able to log into the Windows servers directly. But other people like application team, users, and some other people, if they want to connect to this database, they cannot directly log into the SQL server. We don't allow them. Okay, so then how they are able to connect? They are able to connect using SQL server authentication mode. What is this SQL server authentication mode? Only SSMS will be installed in their laptop. Okay, so when they open SSMS, they have to give the server name. Okay, they have to give the server name directly in the SSMS. In the SSMS you can see, right? If you open SSMS generally, okay, imagine I am a developer. Okay, imagine I am a developer. Imagine this is my work laptop. Imagine this is my work laptop, guys. The one that you are able to see now. This is my work laptop. So what I'll do, directly I'll log into my laptop first. Then I'll open SSMS. In my local laptop itself, I'll open SSMS. Okay. Then I am going to give the server name. Which server name I'll give? This server name I'll give. So that without entering into the Windows machine, he can connect to the SQL server remotely. That is called your SQL authentication. That doesn't mean in this SSMS also we cannot connect. Not like that. Generally developers will connect like this. Only SSMS will be installed in their laptops, and once they opened SSMS, then it will ask you to give the server name. This instance name will give under server name. Will choose SQL authentication instead of Windows authentication. Then they are able to connect to the SQL server. For example, see one user. Okay, user, right? So this person wants to connect to the SQL server, guys. Okay, so this person is a developer, and this guy wants to connect to the SQL server. This guy wants to connect to the SQL server. He is a developer. So in every developer machine, generally Windows team will install SSMS, only SSMS, not SQL server. SSMS is a tool we can install anywhere, guys. Okay, so like this, the developer will open SSMS in his local laptop, in his work laptop. He'll give the server name like this. It doesn't mean the server should be there in the same machine. This server name can be from anywhere, guys. If you see here, he can give this server name, but he is not connecting to this Windows machine. He is not logging into this Windows machine. Without logging into this Windows machine, developer is able to connect to the SQL server. This is called remote. What is meant by remote work? Your office should be, your office will be somewhere else, in different location, and you are going to do work from your home, right? Remotely you are connecting, right? That is called remote work. Means server should be somewhere, and you are able to connect from somewhere. So that is called remote. What is meant by remote job, remote work? What is meant by remote job and remote work, guys? So the location should be somewhere, and the people who are working, their location should be somewhere. So both are able to connect, even though there is a lot of distance, both are able to connect using remote work. So in the same way, SQL server authentication also will work in the same way. No need to connect to the Windows server directly. Okay, you can open SSMS in your local laptop, and you can give this server name here in this local SSMS, and then you are able to connect. But again, the security concept is same. Don't leave that main concept. Even though you are a SQL authentication login, even though you are a Windows authentication login, concept is same, permissions are same. Whatever this person can do in the SQL server, this person also can execute same kind of thing. Permissions wise, there is no difference between this guy and this guy. Both are same. If I gave sysadmin access to this guy, and if I gave sysadmin access to this guy, both are same. The way that they are connecting is different. If it is Windows authentication, they will log into the Windows server and they will connect to the SQL server. If it is SQL server authentication, no need to log into the Windows server directly. They can open SSMS that was installed in their laptop. Then they can give the server name, and they're able to connect to the SQL server by choosing SQL server authentication. But end concept is same, the base concept is same. Even though you are a Windows login or you are a SQL login, you should be member of this logins list. Those who are there in this list, they only can connect to the SQL server. And yesterday we discussed, when I gave access to this Abhi on this PhonePe database, one Abhi user will be created to help this Abhi login. Guys, again I am saying this is Abhi login. When I gave access to Abhi login on any database, a representative will be created on behalf of this Abhi. That representative name is called user, database level user. This is server level login. There is a difference between user and login. Don't confuse. Logins are server level objects. Users are database level objects. When you give access to any login on any database, one user will be created on behalf of that login. Yesterday we discussed, right? Parent and child relationship. Parent and child relationship. So when I give access to Abhi on PhonePe database, automatically a small Abhi will be created in this PhonePe database. This small Abhi will help to this big Abhi to read the data from the database and to write the data to the database, guys. Even though if it is a SQL authentication, also same. If I gave access to this guy, imagine this is something like Sampath. Okay, imagine Sampath. So for him I gave access to this database. For Sampath, I gave access to this database. When I gave access to this database, automatically one user will be created in the database. Like how many people you are giving access, that many people will be created in the database. Users. Okay, if I gave access to this guy on this database, again one more small guy will be created. This is called user. This is called login. So this user will help to this login. Very important, guys. We have to discuss orphan users. So you should know what is user, what is login. What is orphan user? You should know. Okay, so who is orphan generally? Who is orphan, guys? This is children, this is child, and this is parent. What is meant by orphan? What is meant by orphan?
Only child.
Where there are no parents, right?
Okay.
So if someone deleted the Sampath login, this guy, this user will become an orphan user. Why? Because there is no parent. I told you, right? Parent and child relationship. If someone deleted that login accidentally or wantedly, if someone deleted this login, then this user will become orphan user. So for this concept in the entry, they'll ask what is orphan user, how to find orphan user, how many ways we can fix orphan user. So these are some common questions. So that's why this concept should be clear, guys. Three very important points are there, guys. One is there are two types of authentication modes. Authentication means in what way you are connecting to the SQL server. Okay, first method is Windows authentication. If it is Windows authentication, first you have to log into the Windows machine. There you have to open all DBS. Generally, you will also work like this only. First you will log into the server and then you will open SSMS and then you will connect to the SQL server. So you just logged into the Windows server, right? So this is called Windows authentication. The second method is mixed mode or SQL server authentication. What is SQL authentication? No need to log into the server. Directly a user can open SSMS and he can give this server name in this SSMS, right? Like this. Whatever server name is there, I'll give here. Okay, he can give this SSMS, this server name in the current SSMS and all, and he is able to connect to the SQL server remotely. But again, the concept is if anyone wants to connect to the SQL server, he should be member of
Login list.
logins list.
Login.
Member of logins list. If you don't have entry here, you cannot connect to the SQL server. Very simple. You have Gmail ID password. Yesterday we discussed authentication and authorization. What is meant by authentication? Process of verifying the username and password. What is meant by authorization? Having access on some resources is called authorization. So you don't have Gmail account. You are new to Gmail. Can you able to log into the Gmail? You don't have account at all.
Yeah.
No.
You cannot
No.
log, right? That means you are not part of this list. So you cannot access. You cannot log into the Gmail. You have an account. Okay, you have an account. So your name is registered in the Gmail database. Your password is registered in the Gmail database. So you have an account. So now you can give that username and password so you can connect to the SQL server or Gmail database. The same concept. Whether you are a Windows login or you are a SQL login, you should be member of this logins list. Only the people that are there in this list, they only can connect to the SQL server, not everyone. Any questions, guys, here? Any questions, please? That is one point. Second point, yes, please, yes.
Sir, we discussed that fund user, no?
Yes. Forget about orphan user. Just I gave you one touch. There is a separate concept on orphan user that will be discussed. Complete discussion is there. One topic, one class. I'll take the whole class to discuss about this orphan users and all. As of now, just I gave you a brief. What is orphan? That's it. Okay.
Okay.
Don't worry about the orphan user. I'll tell you. Okay, guys. Right. Fine. So one more important point is if you gave access to any login on any database, a representative will be created in that database to help that login. That representative is called database level user. This user will help this login to read the data from the database to write the data to the database. Okay, so these 2 points are very important points, guys, right? So now we will discuss types of logins, guys. Okay, types of logins. So actually we have two types only, logically two types only, but again, okay, it was divided into one more type. I'll tell you. Windows login. The logins that are using Windows authentication is called Windows login. In the Windows login we have single user login, okay, and we have group login. Okay, next SQL login. In this SQL login, we don't have any different types, guys. So total Windows login, group login, and SQL login. But again, this group login also will comes under Windows login only. Group login is one concept of Windows login. Single login, group login, and SQL login, guys. Okay. So these are three types of logins. Okay. So the logins that are using Windows authentication is called Windows login. The logins that are using SQL authentication is called SQL login. Okay. So let's discuss. Let me show you how to create the logins. Okay. How to create the logins we'll discuss, guys. So what I'll do first, I'm going to minimize this, close this one. Right. Now I'm going to open SSMS, guys. Open SSMS. So now I just log into this machine as an administrator, right? So definitely I'll get administrator as the login name. While logging into the SQL server, in the username section, you can see computer name / administrator as the login name. So how to change that administrator login name? Now I want to change it to Abhi. How can I change it, guys? Let me show you. First of all, let it load first, then I'm going to show you so you'll get a clarity. Yeah, Sudarshan. Right, okay. So now you can see, guys, now you can see username, you can see administrator, guys. Now, in the place of administrator, I want to see Abhi, computer name / Abhi, guys. How can I get it? Can anyone tell me? I cannot edit, right? I cannot edit it. It should be Windows authentication only. Don't tell sir, change it to SQL Server authentication, whatever name you want, you can add it. So not like that, okay? I don't want to change Windows authentication, but I want to get Abhi as a username here. How can I get it? Can anyone tell me? Try, guys, try. How can I get Abhi as a username there? Just try it. First of all, tell me how I got administrator username here. How I got administrator here.
Windows level, we need to
Default.
Default. Default administrator, I'll get it. So no matter with which login you log into the Windows machine.
We need to create login.
Where we have to create login? Where it is?
Options.
Windows level.
Windows level. Okay, fine. So first of all, as I'll, yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's gonna be from system.
Okay.
We have and rename
Mm-hmm.
the the new name. I think we can give.
I have to rename the system, huh?
No, I think you can log in administrator right
Okay,
there.
correct, correct. No, Abhi is saying like I have to rename. Guys, Abhi, do I need to rename the system? So in that case, if Nini wants to log in again, I have to rename the server name as Nini.
No.
Not required, right? Why? Because hundreds of people will connect. Every time will change the server name. Server name should be same. Okay, the computer name. This is the computer name. The first part is the computer name. It should be same. But on behalf of administrator, I want to get Abhi. First of all, how I got Abhi, how I got administrator here, you should know. Then only you will get an idea how we can change it to Abhi. Very simple. Very simple. Okay. So here, if you see, I just logged into this machine as administrator. I just logged into this machine as administrator. So that's why whatever apps this administrator is using, so every app, the login name will be administrator, guys. Now tell me, if I want to get as Abhi here, what I have to do? Tell me, guys.
We have to change that administrator to Abhi.
That's it. How can I change it then? Very simple.
So from
Abhi, you have your laptop, Abhi. I have my laptop. If I log into my laptop, I can see this username, right? This username, Hemant is the username. If you logged into your laptop, what name you will get it? If
so
you
I
logged
believe we
into
have
your laptop, if you logged into your laptop using one account, you will log in, right? Either your name or your family member's name will be there, right? Right? So the which account you are using to log into that machine, automatically you can see that account name here under SSMS. I'm using administrator account. So administrator opened this SSMS. So that's why his name is there. If Abhi logged into this Windows machine, if Abhi opens SSMS, he can see his name here. Is it clear, guys? Everyone is using laptop, right? So when you turn on your laptop, you will give one password, right? Which password you are giving? Which password, guys, you are giving? Have you ever seen that username you are giving? Simply you are giving password. Have you ever seen username? For which user you are giving password? Every login will have this username. Every login will have this username. If you want to see, just after this class, just lock your computer and unlock your computer. It will ask the password. Which password you are giving? If you are giving one password, means there should be a username, right? What username? You can now also you can see, just simply click on this Windows button, click on this icon. You can see with what username you are using now. You can see clearly, you can see there. You're able to see, guys? You're able to see what user you are using to log into the laptop? Not in my laptop. Okay, I'm asking you in your laptops. In your laptops, I'm asking you to see, just click on this Windows icon in your laptop and see which user you are using. Okay, you can see your name or your family member's name, guys. When you installed operating system, will give that name. That name you will give generally. Okay, so I logged into the administrator account, so I opened SSMS, so that's why here I can see administrator. If you logged into your laptop and if you open SSMS, see here, if you see here, this is Hemant, right? This is Hemant. If you see here, Hemant opened SSMS. See the username section, what you are able to see, Hemant. Right? In the same way, if you install an SSMS in your laptop, whatever account you are using to log into that laptop, when you open SSMS, you can see that name. Okay, that is called Windows authentication. Now I want to change it. How can I change it? Very simple. I have to log off from this account, administrator account. I have to log in as an Abhi. Right? When I logged in as Abhi, then I am able to change this account. But first of all, I have to check, right, whether Abhi username is there or not. Where I can check it? Open Windows R, type LUSR, mgr.msc. L means local, USR means user, MGR means manager, local user manager. Okay, just click OK. Now let me show you the people that are there in this list users section. They only can connect to this Windows machine. The people that are there in this Windows machine, they only can connect to this Windows server. See here, this is server, right? Let me open my local laptop, lusrmgr.ms. This is my local laptop. Hemant is able to connect, right? Let me show you. If you go to user section, see Hemant is there, right? As like same SQL Server security, same way, guys. Try to unwrap it now. Like if anyone wants to connect to the SQL Server, he should be part of the logins list, right? In the same way, Windows level also we have security, so he should be member of the users list. Okay, everyone, if anyone wants to connect to this Windows server, he should be member of this users list. He should be member of that users list. You should be clear, guys. You should be, let me again add this box, Control Z.
Shan, where did you go to see the login list for Windows? I think I missed that part.
1 minute, just a minute, 1 minute.
No worries.
Right. Yes, tell me, Nini. What is your question?
I saw you going to users list
Yes.
or logins list, and how did
Users.
you get to that?
This one, you have to type Windows R lusrmgr.msc. lusrmgr.msc.
Oh, LUSM.
Yeah. So this is Windows machine level users. Okay. See, don't be confused, guys, here. If you want to connect to the SQL server, you should be member of this logins list, right? In the same way, if anyone wants to connect to this Windows server, they should be member of this users list. They should be member of this users list, guys. Okay, then only you can connect. There is a separate concept called Active Directory. I'll explain what is Active Directory. But as of now, he should be member of this users list. Those who are part of this Windows users list, they only can connect. Now you can open in your laptop. You can open lusrmgr.msc. You can see user section. There you can see all the people that are able to connect to your server or your laptop. Sorry, your laptop. So in my local laptop, Hemant is part of it. So that's why Hemant is able to connect. In the server, administrator is part of it. So that's why administrator is able to connect. Now, if Abhi wants to connect to this Windows machine, to this SQL server using Windows authentication, what we have to do? What we have to do? For Abhi, there is no entry now to the Windows machine itself. So I want to give access to Abhi to connect to the SQL server using Windows authentication. What we have to do? I want to give entry to Abhi first of all. What we have to do, guys?
Right, users?
Yes. So first of all, I have to create Abhi in this list. First, I'll give entry to the shopping mall. Then I'll give entry to the particular shop. Is it clear, guys? This is your shopping mall entry list. So connecting to the SQL server in the Windows machine, SQL server is just kind of one shop, one outlet. Okay, then he can connect to that particular outlet. So let me create Abhi first. How can I create users? Who will create users in the Windows machine, guys? Windows team will take care of it. You don't need to take care of it, guys. Right click, new user. I am going to add Abhi here. Okay, Abhi. No need to add any full name. No need to add description. You can give a password 123 tab 123. And what I'll do, generally I'll uncheck this. What in case if I don't uncheck this, what will happen? Very simple. User must change password at next log on. It is saying, I know Abhi's password, right? I only give the Abhi's password, right? I know Abhi's password. I can misuse Abhi's password. So that's why if you check this option, when Abhi is trying to log in, immediately once he gave the correct password, immediately in the next screen, he'll be prompted to change his password. That is the meaning of this value. User must change password at next logon. So Abhi immediately will change the password. So I don't know Abhi's password. I don't want to use this option as of now. Let it be in the organization, it will be used, but I'm not going to use this option now. Just create. Now Abhi is able to connect. Now Abhi is part of the Windows users list. Right. Now Abhi can log into Windows server only. He cannot log into SQL server. Abhi can log into Windows server only. He cannot log into SQL server. Right? So if I want to show you, I'll show you in a different way. What I will do, I am going to open this management studio with a different user. Okay, how to open management studio with a different user? Right click, just right click on this management studio. You will get like this. Hold shift button, hold shift button, don't leave it. Again right click. You can see run as different user option. You have to hold shift button and then right click. If you don't see open file location, there you can see SSMS file location. There also same concept. Shift plus right click, there you can see run as different user. So you can use this option. Now it will ask you, hey, which user you want me to log in? Okay, I'll use Abhi, and then I want to give Abhi's password 123. Okay, now on behalf of Abhi, one SSMS is opening now. Abhi is trying to open an SSMS with his name. So now you can see, okay, the login name you can see now. Let me show you, just a minute. It is going to load. So nothing is there, guys. Again, I'm explaining. Very simple. If you want to connect to the Windows machine, you should be part of Windows user first. And then if you want to connect to the SQL server, you should be part of SQL login. Whatever Windows server security is using, the same level of security will be applied on SQL server also. Why? Because both are from Windows products only, guys. Both are Windows products only. Whatever security concepts Windows is following, the same level of security concept, okay, it will follow for its applications also. So if you want to connect to this Windows server, first in the machine level, you should be member of that users list. Then now you are able to connect. Now you are able to connect to the Windows server only, not to the SQL server. Now what I'll do for this user, I'll create a login, then he can able to connect to the SQL server. Let me show you. I'll show you guys demo. Right now you can see. Okay, now if you see now it was changed to Abhi. Why? I gave Abhi username and password to open this application. So now tell me, guys, can I connect to the SQL server now? Can anyone tell me? Guess it. Guess it. Can Abhi connect to the SQL server or not?
No,
Why?
no,
Why?
That
because
is
it's
Windows
not
library, this
created.
is SQL.
Login was not created.
Sorry, someone is
The
saying a
SQL
different
server
answer.
too.
Yes. Login created.
Right. So now let's check whether Abhi is part of this logins list or not. So let me go to security logins list. Abhi is not part of this logins list. So when I try connecting, when Abhi is try connecting to SQL server, he will immediately get this error, login failed for the user. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. One minute, guys.
One more.
Yes.
But the cat.
Okay, Tali. Right. Okay. So now Abhi cannot connect. Why? Because Abhi can log into the Windows machine, but not to the SQL server. Why? Abhi is part of local user managers group, but he is not part of SQL servers group, SQL server logins list. So that's why Abhi is not able to connect. Now let me quickly give access to Abhi. How can I give access? So I'll create one login to Abhi. This is our part. Whatever users you created, this is not our part. It will be taken care by the Windows team. Okay, nothing to worry about this step. But once Abhi user is created, on the basis of this user, I'll create an account in the SQL server for Abhi. How to create? Right click on the logins list, new login. I'll give Abhi account. Now see here, I'm going to create Windows login, right? So make sure it is Windows authentication. Okay, right, fine. Now I don't want to give access to, I don't want to give any type of access to Abhi. Okay, I don't want to give any type of access to Abhi. But let's see whether Abhi able to connect or not. Let's see. I'm just creating an entry to Abhi. That's it. What happened? Abhi is not available Windows. Okay, done. No issues. Okay, what we have to do? Click on search. We have to search it actually. I have to search for Abhi. Why? Because Abhi user is created, right? So I have to search whether Abhi user is there or not. So check names. You can see Abhi. So instead of Abhi, I'll give Nini now. Nini. If I check names, I'll get error. Why? Why, guys? Why I'm getting error?
Because he's not part of the
Yes,
login.
because Nini is not part of the users list. How can we get Nini? Right, that's why we are getting error to Nini, and I cannot add anyone here. Delete it and click OK now, and then finally you click OK. So now an entry is created to Abhi now. So now let's try. Now guess it, guys, whether Abhi is able to connect or not. Guess it. I didn't give any access to Abhi, just an entry created, whether Abhi is able to connect or not.
Yes,
Yes, he can
he's
connect.
able to connect.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Pakka?
No.
Yeah, sure.
Pakka?
Paka.
100%?
Awesome.
200%?
Yeah.
Okay, done. Let's connect, guys. Okay, click on connect. He is able to connect. He is able to connect, and you can see his name also. Here this is Abhi account, and if you see here, this is administrator account. You can see here who connected to the SQL server. You can see this is administrator SQL server. I don't have two SQL servers. Again, don't think I have two SQL servers. Nothing. Okay, I have only one SQL server. This is administrator connection and this is Abhi's connection. That's it. Don't confuse here. This is Abhi's connection. That is administrator connection. Okay, but both are connected to the same instance again. Right? Then you can ask, we don't provided any access to Abhi, but how is able to connect? Can you identify the differences between these two, guys? Identify the differences between these two. Let me minimize this as well. Okay, now identify the difference between these two. Just identify what you are able to see extra here, what you cannot see here. Just identify the differences between these two connections.
SQL
server agent is not.
Very good. I cannot see server agent. Next. Next. The differences between these two. You can see one more difference at least.
Databases.
Databases, they are not able.
Databases. You don't see any databases, right? Here also it was minimized. Here also it was minimized. No, right? You can see, you should be able to see the differences. Clearly you can see the differences. Database here also you can see, here also you can see, right? Next, you cannot see agent. See, I can see agent here. I cannot see agent here. Next, like such type of differences. Tell me, guys. One more difference you can tell. That we have already discussed. Here you can see administrator connection. Here I can see Abhi name. Okay. So why I cannot see agent? Why I cannot see agent? And if I am trying
Abhi's
to
access is limited.
yes, when I am trying to access any database, I am able to access. Administrator is able to access. But when Abhi is trying to access any database, see what will happen? Error. See what will happen? Error. Okay. Now I am unable to. Abhi is unable to access any database. Why? Why?
Why? Because no database are mapped to Abhi's
Very
login.
good. Very good. Abhi is having access. He is just having a pass. That's it. That's it. He is able to connect to the SQL server. That's it. He cannot do anything. Why? Because we don't allow Abhi to do anything. We don't allow Abhi to touch anything. We just created an entry as per the earlier concept. Those who are part of that logins list, they can connect. Only they can connect. They cannot do anything. So Abhi also can connect, but he cannot do anything. Why? Because he don't have access. Clear, guys?
So can we say that's gonna be database level and Windows server level accesses
Yes, yes, we can
event?
see. I'll show you. Slowly, I'll show you. Yeah, we can see. I'll show you. See here, security. Under security, see server level also you have security, right? This is server level security. And if you go to any database, under database also security will be there. I told you, right? Users will be created. See here in this list, the users will be there. In this list, the users will be there. I told you, right? If I give access to Abhi on this PhonePe database, now small Abhi will be created here under user section. Okay, I'll show you when we are discussing about server database level roles. We'll discuss that one. Okay, as of now, this is clear, right? Everyone, guys, is it clear? By default, login means what? Entry. See, Abhi, see the differences between this and this. You can tell me the answer now. Okay, and if you see here, if I expand logins, now tell me, guys, what is the difference between this logins list and that logins list?
The right one is gonna be the Windows server login, and the left side is going to be a database. I have the access for the
No,
database.
just tell me the difference between logins list. Forget about database and other objects. Just tell me the difference. How many logins you can see under administrator connection? How many logins you can see under Abhi connection?
Abhi connection is only one is there.
Only
System and
one
Abhi.
login.
Right. Why? Can anyone tell me? The same server, right? Same databases, same server. Why Abhi can see 2 logins? Why administrator can see all the logins?
Because this
Administrator
is only
given login to
Yes, he don't have access to see other logins also. So even though Abhi can connect to the SQL server with a limited access, but still he cannot access any objects. He cannot even see other objects also. Abhi can see his account only. He cannot see, this is the default SA account. Abhi can see his account only, but administrator can see all the accounts. We don't have enough access, so that's why that login can connect to the SQL server, but if I don't give any access to Abhi, he cannot do anything. There is no use of connecting to the SQL server. Very limited access, very limited access. He can only see, and he can only just the 2 database names he can see. Names only he can see. He cannot even expand the databases. He cannot even see other logins also. So very limited access is there. Why? Because I did not give access to Abhi to access other objects. So I can limit Abhi at each level. I can limit him at server level. I can limit him at database level. I can limit him at table level. Is it clear, guys? Any questions, please?
Yeah.
Right, so this is your Windows login. So later we'll discuss access, what type of access we can give. Okay, now we just discussed how many types of logins are there, how to create each login. Okay, so we'll discuss that one. So later how to give, how many types of access are there, how to give access on database, how to give access on the server, how to give access on the table, slowly we'll discuss. Chalo, now let's create a SQL login. This is how we are going to create a Windows login. Let's create a SQL login. Then I'll show you group login concept also. Okay, group login. What is the importance of group login? We'll discuss. How to create SQL login? Same concept. Right click, new login. See, for Windows login, he should be member of users list. For SQL login, there is no such prerequisite. There is no such condition. For anyone, you can create a SQL login. Select SQL Server authentication. Now give name. Okay, I'm going to give Nini as a SQL login. Password, I'll give a strong password 123 123. Okay, so now you can ask, guys, so I know Nini's password, I can misuse Nini's account, right? Correct? I know Nini's password, I can misuse her account, right? Here you can see the policy. See, here you can see the policies. User must change password at next login. So I'll give username and password to Nini. When Nini is trying to connect to the SQL server, Nini immediately will get one pop-up to confirm the password, enter new password and confirm new password. She will immediately get a window, pop-up window, she will get it. So immediately she will change the password. Without changing, she cannot proceed. So immediately she has to change the password. So Nini only know her password, not others. Okay, right. Now I don't want to give any access to Nini also. Okay, I don't want to give any access to Nini also. Simply a login name and password. Click OK. You can ask Shanmukh why it is not asking password for Windows login. Ramkrishna, any questions? Right, just muted here. Ramkrishna, if you have any questions, you can unmute. Chalo, now what is the question, guys? What is the question?
Creating user vacated login.
Create user with the login.
Creating user vacated the login. That's not the question.
Yes. Now Nini cannot log into the Nini can. Yeah. For Nini, actually, no need to create any username. That is why, because that is a SQL authentication. Okay, for SQL authentication, no need to create a. That question is why Windows authentication is not asking password? Why only SQL authentication is asking password? This is my question.
Because I'm not the login
Because
list in Windows.
Because, yes, tell me, Nini. Because
we SQL Server authentication login.
okay, that's fine.
Not
But why not
Windows.
Windows? But why not Windows is asking password, any password? Why only SQL authentication is asking password? Why not Windows? For Windows, if you give any name, generally these two fields will be disabled. Why for Windows authentication it is not asking any password? That means Windows authentication is not secured.
Windows is more secure compared to SQL.
Correct. Then where it is asking password? Which password it is asking?
For SQL Server.
See, for example, now I want to create an account for, of course, Abhi account is already there, but still I just want to show you and click OK. This is Windows login, right? But it is not asking any password for Abhi. What it means? Abhi can connect without password or what? If you choose SQL authentication, then only it is asking for password. But if you choose Windows authentication, it is not asking. And someone said Windows is more secured. Yes, correct. That is correct.
I think it's using the Active Directory.
Very good.
Window.
Excellent. While creating the Abhi user, you already gave the password, right? So that's why no need to give a separate password. That's why don't ask for separate password. When you create the username in the Active Directory, already one username and password already it will be set by the Windows team. So again, there is no point of giving extra password. But SQL login, we don't create any login, right? For SQL login, without creating Windows users, I can create SQL login. This is the first time we are creating, but for Windows, we have already created user. Already we gave the password there. But SQL, this is the first time we are creating, so that's why it will ask password. Okay, chalo. Next, let me cancel this one. Right. So now let's connect as Nini. Okay, now I want to connect as Nini. How can I connect as Nini? Here I want to get Nini, guys. Okay, what is the login name for Nini? What is the, can you tell me how to identify a Windows login and a SQL login? Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Say SQL login, right?
Windows login. Domain name.
Sorry, which name?
Domain name /
Domain name. Okay, very good. Domain name, computer name. Yeah, very good. Okay. So if you see here, Windows logins always prefixed with the computer names or domain names. SQL logins, you don't see any domain names. So only name you can see. That's it. So in that way, you can identify a Windows login and SQL login. Okay. Now let's connect as Nini, guys. Now tell me which authentication I have to. Tell me which
SQL Server
authentication.
authentication we have to use
SQL Server.
instead of Windows authentication.
Are you sure?
No, it's gonna be
Yes.
SQL.
Yeah, SQL Server.
Pakka?
Yeah, Pakka.
Sure.
Yes.
If it is wrong, you have to give 1,000 rupees to me.
Yeah, sure.
Chalo, correct. Okay, you have to choose SQL. Why? Because that is a SQL login. You have to choose SQL authentication only. Okay, so SQL authentication. Here I'll give username as Nini and I'll give user password DBA @123. I'll give. Chalo, let's connect. Okay, click on connect. I'm getting an error. Why? And what is the error number? 18456 is very important error.
We didn't create a user name, right? User account for her.
No, that is wrong answer.
Username.
No. Why I have to create username? When in what case username will be created? See the same concept for Abhi also I didn't created any user. In the Windows level I created user but not in the database level. Again for SQL authentication no need to create any user. That's for sure. That's pakka. No need to create any user for Nini. So don't think because in that case if I want to create user for Nini also, what is the difference between a Windows login and a SQL login then? There should be a difference, right? For Nini also, if I want to create a Windows login, I can directly create a Windows login for Nini, right? Why I'll create a SQL login? Got my point, Abhi?
Yes.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
does she have to change her password?
Not required. Not required. I'll show you in what screen you will get it. Right? So listen carefully. There is an error called 18456. Very important error. This is in the security when if anyone trying to log into the SQL server, if there is an error while connecting to the SQL server, you will get 18456 error. 18456 login failure. In what cases login can be failed, guys? Tell me. Generally, you are trying to log into the Gmail. It is throwing error. It is not allowing you to log into the Gmail. What might be the reason?
Password are not correct.
Correct. Password. Wrong password and next only password.
Username.
Wrong
User.
username. Very good. Wrong username. Wrong password. Right. Again in the SQL Server also same concept. If you are able to, if you are getting 18456 means there are multiple reasons. One is if the login is not existed in this list, you will get 18456 error. If you give wrong username, you will get 18456 error. If you give wrong password, you will get 18456 error. If you don't have enough access, you will get 18456 error. In all these cases, you will get 18456 error. Okay, chalo. Now let's discuss about this error, how to fix it. Let me show you. Let me cancel this. So what is the problem? During installation, we discussed one important point. What is that important point? In the authentication screen, we discussed one point, guys. We have two types of authentication, Windows authentication, SQL authentication. Can we change the authentication after installation? Is it possible?
Yes, we can.
It's
Yes,
possible.
it is possible. How to change it? Go to properties of the instance. Go to the security page. There you can see. Now, what is the reason? Can anyone identify the reason?
We have to choose server in Windows
Very
authentication mode.
good, very good. I just selected Windows authentication, so only Windows people can connect to the SQL server, not everyone, not SQL people. I just selected this option during installation. Can I change it at any point of time? Yes, but you have to restart the SQL server to take effect. So that's why during installation itself we'll choose this option. But you should know, right, how to change it in case if we don't select that option. In future, how to change it, you should know, right? So that's why I'm changing. During installation, that's why wantedly I selected Windows authentication. Now click OK. Now, if you see here, some of your configuration changes will not take effect until SQL server is restarted. Click OK. Right click. Restart your SQL server. Okay, yes. Yes, again. So don't restart in the organization, guys. Okay, so you cannot restart like that. So initially during installation itself, you have to change it to SQL authentication. In between, if you suddenly restart, means application will be down. Okay, whenever you are restarting, always remember this point. Whenever you are restarting, your application will be down. If your application is down without authorized downtime, then you will be at risk. Okay, now let's connect as Nini. Click connect button again. Choose SQL Server authentication. Type Nini. Type password. Now can I connect? Again, 1000 rupees bet. Now Nini can connect.
Yes.
Are you sure, Nini? For you, it's $1000.
Too expensive.
Then you'll remember the concept. Okay, chalo. Nini can connect now. Okay, but see here, immediately it is asking the password to change. Okay, new password, confirm password. So what I'll do, 1234 DBA at 1234. I'm just adding one more number. That's it. Now Nini is able to connect. Now can you identify which one is Windows authentication connection, which one is SQL authentication connection? Can you identify, guys? Which one is
Yes,
Windows
Windows.
authentication? Yeah, tell me.
It's gonna be with the ending with administrator.
Correct. See, it's not like
And
administrator, it's like computer name. If you see computer name, username, that is Windows connection. If you just see only username, that is SQL connection. Again, the concept is same. Nini cannot expand any databases. Nini will get error. Nini cannot see any logins other than her login and SA login. The concept is same. There is no difference between Windows login and SQL login. The way that you are connecting is only the difference. Permissions wise, security wise, everything is same. Windows people will connect to the Windows machine first, then they will connect to the SQL server. SQL people can directly open SSMS in their local laptops and they'll give the server name and they can connect. Okay, guys, is it clear? Windows authentication, SQL authentication.
yes.
Right, chalo. Then let's discuss about the group logins, guys. What is group logins? What is this concept? What is the use of this group login? So you will get a better idea in the Active Directory. So we have a separate session, Active Directory, domain users, domain groups and all. There I'll explain clearly, but now I'll give you a brief about this group logins. Chalo. Now imagine I have 10 servers, guys. Imagine I have 10 servers. Now the same concept. I have 10 servers. Abhi is the DBA. Abhi wants to connect to all the 10 servers. Now what we have to do, guys? We have to create Abhi in each server, right? Right or not? Abhi wants to connect to the 10 Windows servers, not SQL servers. 10 Windows servers are there. Okay, Abhi wants to connect to 10 Windows servers. What I have to do? When Abhi can connect to the Windows machine, he should be part of local users and groups, right? Correct or not, guys?
Yes.
Right. Yes. I have 10 servers. So how many Abhis I have to create? Each server, one Abhi I have to create, right? Right. Let me show you in the diagram so that you will get a clarity. Right. This is my organization. Okay. Right. This is my organization and Windows server. Okay. So imagine these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now 10 servers are there. Now Abhi wants to connect to all the servers. Abhi wants to connect to all the servers. Let me use this user. Okay. Right. This is Abhi. So if Abhi wants to connect to this server, I have to create an Abhi here. If Abhi wants to connect to this server, one more Abhi, 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 right? Then only Abhi can connect to all the 10 servers. How many Abhis I created, guys? In each machine, how many Abhis I created?
Yeah.
10. 10 servers in each machine, 1 Abhi, 10 Abhis. Imagine I have 100 servers. If I have 100 Abhis, 1000 servers, 1000 Abhis. Very simple, right? You all know calculation, right? Imagine now I have a team of 3 people. I have a team of 3 people. Okay? These 3 people are DBS. These 3 people are DBS. Now these 3 people wants to connect to all the 10 servers. How many accounts I have to create total?
30.
30 accounts. Very simple. These 3 people wants to connect to 100 servers. How many accounts I have to create?
300.
100 into 3, 300. 1000 servers, 3000. Right, 3000 accounts I have to create. 3000. Imagine if I am having 10 people in my DBA team, 10 into 100 servers, 10 into 100, how many? 1000 accounts. If I have 1000 servers, 10 into 1000, 10,000 accounts I have to create. If Abhi left the organization, I have to remove Abhi from this server, from this server, from this server. I have to remove Abhi from this server, this server, this server, this server. Right? Every server, from every server I have to remove Abhi. Otherwise, Abhi can misuse the login, right? If Abhi left the organization, if he got job in another company, if Abhi left the organization, I have to remove all the accounts, right? I have to remove his account from all the servers, right? Which is very big headache. So that's why to fix all these issues, we have a concept called group login. What is that called login, guys? Group login. What is meant by group login? I'll group logins together. I'll group all the logins together. Okay? I'll group, sorry, Control Z. Send backward, bring forward. Where is that? Let me try adding, bring forward. Okay. Front, it won't come. Right click, send backward. Alright, no problem. Let me delete. Control Z, delete, delete, and delete. Okay, and here yes. Okay, right. Now what I'll do, I am going to create a group. I'm sorry, group login, guys. Control Z, Control Z, group login. So what I'll do, instead of creating individual people, individual access in each server, I'll directly give group level access to this machine, guys. Group itself I'll add. So no matter how many people are there in this group, I'm sorry. Okay, very simple, guys. Instead of creating 100 accounts, 1000 accounts, 10,000 accounts, I'll simply group all the users together. Like in my team, 10 people are there. I'll group all the 10 people. Directly, I'll add the group itself to the server. So I'm going to save a lot of time, right? I can save a lot of time instead of adding one person to the server. If all these 3 people wants to connect to this server, I have to create 3 accounts in this server. Instead of doing that, I'll group them together. I'll simply create one group login for everyone in this server. So all 3 people can connect to this server. That is called group login. Every group I'm going to add. This group I'll add to every group, every machine. No need to create separate logins again in every machine. This group I can simply add to every machine. So every machine this group will be created and all the group people. So if anyone left the organization, simply Windows team will remove that person from that group. So there is no person in that group, right? How come that person can access the servers? If any new person joined in the group, simply Windows team will add that person to the group. So automatically he will get access to all the servers. Why? Because this group is having access to all the servers, right? So again, there is no concept of giving a separate access to the group. Okay, we'll give group access to the everyone, to each and every person, to each and every group. Whatever groups are there, will follow different groups in the organization. Developers groups will be there. In developers we have, okay, junior developers, senior developers, different groups will be there. Users group will be there. So what I'll do, I'll group them together. I'll simply give access to the whole group on the server. So no need to create individual access to everyone. If this group is having access to this server, all the members of this people, all the members of this group can connect to this server. That is called group login, guys. Is it clear? Group login concept? Okay, so in the Active Directory, we have separate session. When we'll start advanced concepts, there we'll show you, I will show you how to create groups and all. We are going to set up Active Directory in our lab, and in our class, we can set up Active Directory. I'll show you during Active Directory setup and all, you'll get a clarity. Very simple. Instead of individual logins, if I give group login, no need to create individual logins in every server. I can directly give access to the whole group in all the servers. If anyone left the organization, I can remove that user from the group, so he cannot access to any of the servers. Those who are there in this list, they only can access all the servers. So instead of creating 10,000 accounts, 1,000 accounts, I'll simply group them all 10 people, all 10 DBAs as a SQL DBA group. I am going to give access to that group on every server. So if any new person joined, we can add them to the new group as a same group. If any person left the organization, we can remove from that group. So no need to create multiple accounts. Okay, clear guys? Group concept, group login. So what I will do, yes please.
Okay, so for this group login, do they have, all the people, the groups log into the, do they criteria, or they are?
See, first of all, they should be members of the server. Okay, then only I can create the group. First of all, they should be members of the server. So I cannot create group without creating any entry in the server. But for one machine, it is not so useful. When you're having multiple machines, I'll show you during Active Directory. Only once I'll create the group. Now I have only one server, right? There is no big difference. Okay, but when we are having multiple servers, you can see the difference. I don't create multiple users in each server. Simply I'll create users only once, and I'll create group only once. That group can connect to all the servers if I gave access.
Okay.
Okay, right. Now I'll create group login, guys. So what I'll do, I can create group login initially with one person also. Later I can add depends upon the requirements. We can add groups, we can add users to the group, we can remove users from the group. Okay, so what I'll do, I'm going to create 3 users. Okay, let me see the top 3 people in this list. B is already there. Akshay, Alekia, Dilip. Okay, Akshay, Alekia, Dilip. Okay, Akshay, Control A, Control C, tab. Okay, not required. 1, 2, 3. But guys, again, group logins also will be created by the which team? Which team, guys?
Windows
team.
We don't involve in creating. Why? Because we don't have access to create a group logins, Windows users and all. Okay, Windows team will take care of it. Simply we have to raise a request to the Windows team. They are going to take care of it. Okay, Akshay, Alekia and Dilip, right? Dilip. Sorry. Create. That's it. Okay, 3 people are created, right? Close it. You can see all 3 people: Akshay, Alekia, Dilip. Let me create a group. Right click. New user. Okay, sorry, I'm sorry. Go to groups, guys. Go to groups, right click in the white space, new group. Okay, SQL DBAs. Right, now initially itself I can add, later also I can add. Now I'm going to add all these 3 people. So Akshay, AKSHY, AKSH, check names. Right, 1 minute. What is the spelling?
AKSHAY.
Yes, I just added. Akshay, Alekya, LekhyA, semicolon, Dilip. I can add all at a time. Okay, then check names. Now you can see if I want to add any other user other than these three people, I'll get error. Okay, imagine who is the next person. Harthi. Okay, if I am trying to add Harthi name here, HARATHI, I'll get error. Why? Because I didn't created Aarti, right? So that's why I'll get the error. Just cancel it and click OK and cancel it. Okay, let me delete this one. Okay, click OK, right, and create. That's it, guys. Now I can see SQL DBA groups. If you go down, okay, SQL DBA. In this group, you can see all the members: Akshay, Alekya, Dilip. Now directly I can directly, for example, now I'll show you guys. You can see the difference now. So let me show you that one. I'm going to disconnect SQL authentication. So I'm going to create a group login. See, there is no group login option, guys. Windows login itself, either a Windows login, single login, or Windows group login. Instead of single user name, you have to give group name. That's it. You have to type SQL DBA. SQL DBA is our group name, right? Check names. You'll get the error. That's okay, fine, no issues. You should get it. Close it. Click on this object types. Select groups also. Then it will search all the groups. Okay. Then check names. Click OK. Right. I don't want to click OK now. What I will do, let me open this management studio with run as different user first. Right click, shift plus right click.
I have a question, Shan.
Yes. I just you will get the answer. Just a minute. I'm going to first let me try with Dilip. 1, 2, 3. What happened? Dilip only, right? Dilip. 1, 2, 3. Are what password I gave? 1 minute, guys. Let me check. Users. Dilip spelling is correct. Okay. And I get the same one, right? Dilip DBA @123. Oh, okay. It is asking the user password must be changed before logging. Okay. Got it. So what I'll do one thing. Okay. That's okay, guys. Don't worry. No issues. Double click on this. I'm going to uncheck all these things. Apply. Okay. And for Akshay also, uncheck this one. Apply and okay. For who is that? Dilip Alekya. Double click. I'm going to uncheck this one, apply and okay. Right, fine. So now what I'll do, I'm going to I'm not going to click OK. So what I'll do, I'm going to connect to the 1 minute. Where is that option? Okay, I'm going to open it again. Right click, run as different user. Okay, so this time what I'll do, I'm opening SSMS with run as different user. Just a minute. Let me close this, guys. It's responding too slow. Let me close one SSMS. Just 5 minutes, guys. We can close the session for today. Just 5 minutes. Why it is taking this much time? Yes, Nini. I'll answer. Just give me a minute. Yeah, I'll answer.
When you are done, no rush.
Yeah. Let me first close this SSMS so that we get some memory. Yes, okay, just a minute. Let me close this one. Why I'm getting this warning? Okay, right. Shit. Taking lot of time. Let me close this. I am cold, I am hungry. Right, okay. So now let me minimize this. So what I'll do, shift plus right click, just right click first. Then you can see shift plus right click. Right, now shift plus right click. Run as different user. Not sure, it is consuming lot of memory. It is taking time. Yes, Nini, you can ask your question in the meanwhile.
Okay, so when you created like users and groups, did you do that on the remote desktop, or did you do that on your local desktop?
No, not local. I just want to show you how it will be in my local laptop, just to show you the difference between the server and the local desktop. That's it. I didn't do anything in my local desktop till now. I didn't created anything. Everything should be created in the server only, in the remote desktop, remote server only. Okay.
Remote desktop. Okay,
Yes,
thank
yes.
you.
Yeah. I just want to show you one thing, guys. It don't take much time, but SSMS is not responding. Just give me 2 minutes. That's it. I don't want to take much time. Guys, and what is the plan for Bakrid? People are asking holiday for Bakrid. So what is your plan, guys? We have Bakrid on when? Is it on 28th or 29th?
29.
29th. We have Muhammad here.
Was on Thursday.
28th. 29th.
This 29th.
29th. Okay. Some of them are celebrating on 28th actually. Okay, let's see. We'll check and I'll update you guys. People are asking, okay? People are asking about Bakrid holiday. So we might have a holiday on Thursday. Depends upon their requirements. We'll discuss and we'll update you, okay? Why it is taking this much time? Very important point that is, so that you will get a clarity. Just checking what is consuming more here. Let me check the local laptop as well. 92% is too much. Microsoft Teams. Close this. And this. And this as well. Why I have 47 windows? Let me close this. Right. Okay. This Explorer we cannot close. Okay, so let me run as with the different users, right? Shift plus right click, you can see run as different user. Okay, so now I am going to use, Dilip. Okay, Dilip at 1 2 3. Okay, I'm just going to click OK, guys. So now tell me, guys, Dilip is able to connect to the SQL server or not? Tell me. Sorry. Tell me, Dilip is able to connect to the SQL server or not? Check this list and tell me the answer. Tell me, guys, Dilip is able to connect to the SQL server or not?
No.
No, right? As why? Because he is not part of this list, so he cannot connect. Okay. So let me show you that error as well. I'm just waiting for the SSMS. Right. Now I can see, right? Now I'm going to connect as Dilip. See here, username is Dilip. Okay. If I'm trying to connect, definitely we'll get the error. Login failed for the user 18456. Now let me do one thing. Okay. Now what I can see, let me show you one thing. Right. So I'm going to create a group login, guys. Windows authentication search, and the name is SQL DBS. Check names. If you are getting error, close it. Select object types as groups also. Click OK and finally click OK. And now I'm going to click OK. Now tell me, guys, Dilip is able to connect or not? Dilip is not there in this list, but Dilip is able to connect or not? Guess it, guys.
Yes, he can able to connect.
This part of the group we can connect.
So now let me show you Dilip is able to connect now. Why? Because Now you can ask one question, Shanmukh. You only said those who are part of this list can connect to the SQL server, but I don't see Dilip here. How come Dilip is able to connect?
The group, Dilip is there.
Yes, very good. How to know whether that person is there in that group or not? How to know that one? Okay, I'm getting an error. Okay, that's fine. And let me try with this new query. Might be I just closed one option, right? So that's why. That's okay. So now how to check, guys? Okay, now the thing is very simple. I told you, right? Group logins. Dilip is part of this group. That's why even though Dilip is not able to see in this list as group login is there, so Dilip is able to connect. Very simple. Okay, why he is able to connect? Dilip is not part of this list, but still he is a part of the group, right? He is also a part of this list only, but you cannot see him directly because he is a part of the group. So that's why you cannot see him directly. And how to identify the SQL login, Windows login, and group login, guys? Can anyone tell me how to identify the difference between SQL login, Windows login, group login? We can easily tell the answer. Very simple. You can see the logins.
Skill DBA is group login.
How come? How come it's a group login?
Multiple users are there. I mean, two or three people are there.
If you see here, two people with server is there, right? That is group login. Without computer name is there, right? That is SQL login. With the computer name is there, right? Or domain name is there, right? That is your Windows login. Okay, guys? Is it clear? Is it clear, guys? Any questions? Let me show you that command. Okay. So what is the command to see whether really Dilip is part of this group or not? What is the command, guys? Can anyone tell me the command? XP underscore login info. Okay, color will be changed. Group name. You want to see all the members of this group, right? Drag and drop this group, comma, members. You want to see members of this group, right? All text. Okay, done. That's fine. Sometimes we'll get this, but sometimes it will be executed. Sometimes we'll get this here. The directory name is invalid. We are getting some different error. Not this. Tomorrow I'll show you why, because I closed one process that is creating this error. The directory name is invalid. So tomorrow I'll show you the same login. You can use in your laptops also. When you create a group login, it will clearly show you all the members of that group. You can see the members. Tomorrow I'll show you when I restart. If I restart it again, it will take time, right? So tomorrow I'll show you the same command. Okay. So that's it, guys. That's it for today. Again, the same, okay, concept is same. Everyone should be a member of this part, like logins list, but some of them directly you can see, some of them are not part, but they might be a part of the any of the group. So that's why he is able to connect, that Dilip is able to connect, guys. Okay, so that's it for now. Tomorrow we'll connect at 7 p.m. and we'll continue the security discussion, guys. Okay. And again, don't worry about all these things. Again, there is a 10 minutes session, a brief session on security. You will get to know everything very easily. We don't do all these things, guys. You should know the subject before giving access and all. But generally, we don't need this much subject to work. Simply we'll create login, we'll give access on specific database or table. This will be discussed on the security topic, guys. Security only, but 10 minutes brief security will be there. There I'll show you. Okay. Don't worry at all. Fine, guys. That's it for now. Tomorrow we'll connect at 7 p.m. Thank you all.